Hey everybody, welcome to Love and Reload, the voice of the relocation industry. And we are here live in Bethesda, Maryland, outside our nation's capital right here for the Immigration and Global Mobility Symposium, hosted here at USILAW, sponsored by Universal Global as well as WHR Global. This is an incredible event today. I want to give you all of the details and takeaways and everything that we've learned. So we're gonna be touching base with all of the luminaries and the corporate folks here, all the smart people. I'm joined by my good friend, speaking of smart people, I'm joined by my good friend, Hosea Botley, founder, CEO of Universal Global. Hosea, how you doing today?
Man, this is awesome. I'm doing great. This is an incredible event. Incredible.
Yeah, I mean that venue inside there. If you've never been to USILAW headquarters, if you've never been to the Henry Jackson Foundation here in Bethesda, they have the most amazing kind of amphitheater set up. It's absolutely incredible. I highly recommend it. I hope the GWERC hosts an event here sometime because it's absolutely incredible.
Incredible. I wouldn't mind having an event here myself.
Yeah, well, we'll maybe do a VersalCon here one year or something.
Why not? Why
hit
not?
that like button. Get in the comments. I want to know what you're up to, who you are, where you're from. Give your company a shout out. What's your impression of the event today, Jose? Let people know what it's all about that aren't here today with us.
I'm very happy I don't do immigrations. I can tell you that.
Yeah. It's hard.
Wow.
It's hard. There's
It's
so much
incredible,
going
man.
on.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
They said there was 800,000 applications for 800 visas.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Imagine you had 800,000 people to move, but you could only move 80,000.
Yeah, well.
Imagine you only did 80,000 relocations in 1 year.
Man, that's a lot. It's
problematic.
Yeah, very problematic.
Look at this. We got people checking in here. Sandra says, I love the intro pics. Yeah, Sandra, I think you're in there somewhere. What's up? It's good to see you, Sandra.
Yeah.
You're local here, Sandra. Where are you? Look, this is a gorgeous spring day out here. People can't see. We got the blossoms are blossoming.
It's a beautiful day.
The blooms are blooming.
It's a beautiful day.
It's gorgeous. Things are popping here. This is fantastic. Monica checking in. Hey, Ben, I was in Bethesda 20 years ago. Well, come on down, Monica.
Come back.
Where are you at these days? We're going to have Bobby Bartle from Ayers here join us. We're going to be having Erica Massey from Anderson Tax here. We've got Chris Lagerman from WHR Global joining us. We got Anandita Chaudhary, founder. Oh my gosh, managing attorney. She's coming up behind me. She's gonna hit me with something probably.
Yeah.
She's gonna be joining us here in a minute. So we're gonna be downloading all this stuff to you. Put your questions in here. I want to hear from you. Here, Sandra's checking in from Alexandria. This is great. Jillian saying my favorite person. Hey, I'm here too, Jill. All right, what's up with that? Jose can't be your favorite. I'm your favorite.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
Why do people like you so much, Jose? What do you think it is about you?
What? I'm just a great guy, man.
Supposedly.
Yeah.
All right, Adrian checking in here from Global HQ. All right, give people real quick one thing that you kind of took away from this, besides you feel blessed and fortunate not to have to do the immigration side of it. What is one takeaway you took away here, or a thing that you thought people should know?
We got a lot of world issues.
Yeah,
we have a lot, but nothing that we can't get through. It's just going to take a lot of strategic planning, and it's got to be ahead of the game.
What's one part of the world that concerns you the most, maybe from a relocation or shipping standpoint?
I would say the Red Sea and the Port of Baltimore. It's going to be very, very concerned.
Yeah, we're right here in Maryland right now, and the Key Bridge just down the way here. What is what's the outlook right now for the Port of Baltimore?
Well, you keep getting different stories on when they're going to have at least one lane open. Now it's the end of May. I'd be very surprised if that happens, but I don't think one lane is going to get it. We're still going to have to use the Port of Norfolk, New York, probably even Philly for import-export.
Yeah, it's desperate when people are going to Philadelphia.
Yeah.
What's that going to do to cost and time?
Definitely more time. It's going to do a lot of delays. It's going to cause a lot of delays because the dredge companies are going to be backed up just trying to get the containers to Baltimore. The cars as well. And that's going to cost. And then, of course, the additional cost for the additional dredge.
All the trucking now.
All the trucking.
Because you can't just go to the port. You got to truck it down.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. It's a mess. So what should people be doing right now to counter balance these headwinds in the shipping?
Well, first of all, you got to understand that there will be delays, and that that the accounts need to understand that there will be additional costs.
So they're going to be planning ahead a little bit.
Ahead, you know.
Yeah, that was one of the things that Erica is going to join us here in a bit. But she was talking about how we need to be more proactive and less reactive, and I think that's so important, you know. And we have to really, I think, also as service providers, we have to communicate that back to the business, to our clients, and let them know these are the things that are going on, and y'all need to plan ahead. And then they need to communicate to the business to say, hey, if you think something's going to happen, and you're going to be doing these relocations or whatever, you need to give us more lead time maybe than you've needed to do in the last year with volumes being lower.
Well, we continue to meet the Versal team. We continue to meet once a week on the different strategies as we get new information. But like you said, though, we got to let the accounts know ahead of time on the delays and the additional costs.
Yeah, get in the comments right now. I want to know who you are, where you are. Hit that like button. If you've got questions about shipping time, shipping costs, anything like that, we're going to have Hosea kind of hang out over here in the green room. It is gorgeous out here. It's about 70 degrees, sunny day here in Maryland.
Yeah, it's beautiful, man.
And cocktail hour is about to start over here. We got some signature cocktails. So I'm excited. Hopefully one of my friends brings me one of those here. So anyway, Hosea, thank you so much for sponsoring this event. Thank you to Versal. And this is our second one that we've done. And this has been great.
Always my pleasure. My pleasure.
Awesome.
Thanks, Ben.
Awesome. Hey, go ahead, hand that to Anandita over there. And Anandita is going to join us. Anandita Chaudhary here from USILAW, founder, managing attorney. Anandita, how are you doing?
Hey,
how are you feeling? We just hosted a symposium. Thank you so much for hosting it. How are you feeling right now?
Really pumped up, and I mean, I can't believe this is our second one, exactly as you mentioned. And I remember when we were just having initial discussions, I guess 5-6 months ago. I mean, towards the end of last year, and just like it was just an initial thought. And to think that this is our second one, and we were just talking last night at home, contemplating our third one, and just thinking what the subject would be or what the hot topics of discussion that we would continue with after today's. It's just I'm pinching myself to realistically think of the talent that we are bringing together and just the people in the room that we had. I mean, literally, Hosea, just, you finished an interview with him. We have Bobby, we have Chris, we have Erica, we have, Mike from WRC. We have all these, tenured professionals who were kind enough to come and speak and just share their knowledge. And hopefully the people even sacrificing their time, it's now half a day, to serve the global mobility community and hopefully learn from this and go back to their different verticals and companies and teach their companies and the human beings behind all of this will actually benefit from what we are trying to do. And hopefully everybody will benefit. That's the ulterior motive and goal behind all our efforts.
I love it, and I'm totally feeling that vibe of collaboration right now. People are having kind of side conversations in here. Michael Jackson from WERC is wrapping up a government update right now inside. But what's one thing that you've taken away from these discussions that people maybe need to be thinking about when they're looking at their immigration strategy?
I think collaboration, partnership and collaboration. That's the one message that I got from the various different speakers of how we need to just, no matter what hat you're wearing, just basically work together, because it's in time. One thing that I'm learning, even after the decades that I've been in this trade, it's getting difficult. And the best way out of this and the best way to benefit once again, I sound like a broken record, but the human being behind this, for which we are all in it together, is to partner together and collaborate.
Well, and I think it's important because sometimes we got to be honest, sometimes we lose track of the fact that there's a human being whose immigration status or whose relocation or whose family or whose hopes and dreams is riding on the way that we do our jobs, right? And that's one of the things that I always admire about you and the way that you run your firm is that you put the human being behind the application first, and you always, and you never forget that, because as you told me so many times so poignantly, you've stood in that line, right? And there's something about standing in that line as I talk to you that gives a sense of purpose to it. Can you tell me about that?
It's been, I mean, exactly as you said, it's like it's been 33 years that I was in that line. It's been 33 years that I felt those shivers. I felt the reality of being rejected. So it's a different feeling for me. It's a reality of what would it be like if I didn't get that opportunity. Very grateful for having gotten that visa. I started my career or my immigration history as an F1 student, then getting the H1, then getting the green card through employment base, and then getting the naturalized, application.
It's so crazy to think. You say like, what if, right? That didn't happen.
Absolutely.
Like, we wouldn't be standing here today doing this symposium right now if
100%.
you didn't, get here to found this firm right over here
100%.
with all these amazing associates working here.
Absolutely.
Like, it's crazy the impact that immigration has on building our society and what is America.
And that's what Nafisa Director was mentioning, right? Where would America be without the immigrants? Where would any or most of the companies, if you look at IT or any, where would Apple be? Where would Microsoft be? Where would any company think of it? The contribution of immigrants to this country.
Google, Tesla, all founded by immigrants.
Absolutely.
The amount of value creation there, it's 100%. Incredible. And I think sometimes that's lost in the conversation, and how it's politicized right now.
100%.
But it's important to always remember the purpose behind what we do. I think we're fortunate in some ways to have jobs that carry so much purpose with it.
Exactly. Yeah. We're really blessed to be in this industry, and therefore we have a responsibility in how we do what we do.
Yeah. I agree. Shout out to Libby out there. Get in the comments. I want to know who you are, where you are. If you're watching this right now out here in the beautiful springtime, if you'd log in, hit that like button real quick and check out the live stream. Get in the comments. I want to hear from you right now. Jose, if you would get in the comments, that'd be awesome. Chris Lagerman, that's great. We got Bobby Bartle on deck here. This is fantastic. So get on your phone there. I want to see here.
Take a picture of the gentleman.
Look at this.
Chilling.
All the guys are just chilling. We're doing all the hard work over here. They're waiting for the bar to open over here. We've got some signature cocktails coming
15 minutes.
15 minutes. We've got a countdown. This is great. Any final thoughts that you want to give folks out there as they're thinking about, now the HCAP season's over. Now, as we go into the rest of 2024, anything that they should be thinking about?
We've got the countdown till June 30th to file all these petitions that we were lucky to get selected, and then don't know whether there'll be a round two, hoping there will be a round two, and then to figure out for those that weren't selected, what would be the creative option of trying to work with our partners to, salvage the talent and keep them preserved in America. And then let's see what the rest of 2024 brings.
Yeah, this is great. We got Janet Turner checking in. Hey, from Central Florida. Fantastic.
Hey, we've got Florida weather here.
Phil Leonard checking in from Philly. Hey, I'm sorry what I said about Philadelphia, Phil. Okay,
Philadelphia is awesome.
Sandra, so true. Our own president is representative of that American dream. Monica Kane checking in here. Exactly. My personal connection to global mobility as an expat myself fuels my passion. Yeah, the passion is super interesting. I mean, I love this country and the opportunities that presents,
Absolutely.
right? And I've benefited that as an entrepreneur. But as I was sitting down with you and with Nafis and with Nan last night, and we were chatting, it's hard to love this country more than an immigrant loves this country.
Absolutely.
Because as a person who was born here, this is all I know. So I think I appreciate it, but I don't really know.
No.
Right? It's just like my kids, they think they appreciate their toys and they think they appreciate the home which I provide, but they don't really know. Okay. But so to come from across the world and to sacrifice so much and time spent with your family. I mean, we were talking about that, the time away from our family, our parents, in order to provide a better life and a future for our kids.
Those
it's
sacrifices
so
and those decisions that you have to make you pay a price for it, but for a better life.
Ray Hardy checking in. Great Navy town in Bethesda. What's up, Ray? Hit that like button, y'all. We're gonna keep the party going here. Anandita, thank you so much for hosting us here.
Thank you for what you do, because without you, the moderator, it won't be any fun. Seriously, you keep it alive.
Well, if I can bring anything, it's the fun. Okay.
Yeah,
thank you so much. People are laughing at me. This is great. No, let's bring Bobby Bartle over here. Yes. Thank you so much, Anandita. Bobby Bartle over here.
It's a privilege handing it over to Bobby.
There you go.
Thanks, Anandita.
Bobby, you did a great job today. It's really good to finally meet you here.
Yeah, long time listener here.
Long time listener, first time caller.
Yes.
There you go. Bobby, thanks for being here. Bobby, tell people a little bit about yourself and what you do. Bobby.
Yeah, thanks, Ben. Bobby Bartle. I work at AIRS. I'm general counsel at AIRS, and I also oversee our immigration department. So we have, obviously, AIRS does relocation management, and there's a lot of services layered in there. Immigration is one of them. So we help administer immigration programs for our corporate clients, both the petitions of the individuals and just the overall immigration management of the program for our corporate clients.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, thanks for being here. You're on the panel today with us. Why don't you share maybe just a really quick version of maybe some of the takeaways that you thought were interesting today?
Yeah, so we talked about some of the geopolitical events happening throughout the world. We also talked about the importance of the fact that there's going to be 64 elections in 64 different countries.
49% of
yes.
the world's population is going to the polls this year.
And that's really the amazing number. I mean, half the world is voting and putting new leadership in possibly, or really starting to set the trends and the agenda for all sorts of policies, but certainly those policies that impact relocation and especially immigration. So one of the things that we talked about is, okay, how can companies stay ahead of that? How can they stay ahead of it from a trends perspective to really know about, okay, how's that going to possibly impact them if there's going to be a change in leadership, which obviously in the US we're making that change as well, right? Or that having an election. So, not just from a presidential standpoint, but from a congressional standpoint as well. And so that's going to be really driving agendas and driving the ideas of what's possible from a mobility perspective and from an immigration perspective.
Yeah, really, really great points there. I want to ask everybody that's watching right now. We got Janet tuning in, Ray, Monica. This is fantastic. If you're watching this right now, get on the live stream, hit that like button, get in the comments. I want to see you out there. I want to know, what is the one thing you're thinking about this year? Is it what's going on in the real estate world? Is it interest rates? Is it immigration challenges? Is it the 49% of the world that's going to the polls this year? What is that one challenge that, I don't want to say keeps you up at night, right? But I mean, what's that one thing that you're trying to wrap your arms around, or that we need to be thinking about and talking about? Maybe that we're not really thinking and talking about enough. One of those things that came up today, and we'll have Erica on here in a second, but was the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act of 2017 that was passed. I remember I was just a young buck in 2017, just passed my CRP in Vegas, and when that went through, it removed the moving expense deduction, and it made relocation benefits taxable to the employee. And that was a major sea change in our industry, and it had to affect the managed relocation companies quite a bit. And we saw a lot of folks go towards lump sum policies or managed cap policies or things like that to drive down the increase in cost. And now we're seeing potentially that sunsetting in 2015. Be very interesting to see what impact that might have on relocation volumes. What are you seeing out there, Bobby?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those factors, right? One of those elements that's driving decisions by companies in terms of their relocations and how they're approaching spend with relocation, right? And so obviously that is expiring potentially 2025. And because of that, I think we've just had a session in there, and it's really good to have mobility professionals across all different sectors, right? And even competitors and all within the room, because we are one mobility community, really, right? And we have the ability from an advocacy standpoint. And so for those types of issues, specifically the Tax Act, we have the ability to be one group and to advocate for ourselves and our corporate customers.
Yeah, really, really great points there. We got some cool comments coming in here. Phil's inviting me to mix and mingle tomorrow night in DC. Ping me for details. Put the deets out there, Philly. Let us know what's going on here, man. I might be on a plane heading back to Dallas. There's only so much DC I can handle, I'll be honest with you. Libby says mitigating delays in transit. Ooh, that's a good one. Yeah, we might be talking about that one. A lot of shipping challenges right now coming up. Very cool. Bobby, you want to leave people maybe with just a final thought before we bring on our next guest?
No, I mean, I think one of the things that we talked about today is just continuing to stay on top of the trends. How do you do that? Well, you have an ecosystem of partners, and you really rely on those partners to help drive information, get you information, so you can be the catalyst to really relay that information. But you also have to be able to be in tune with your data. So big part of what we talked about today was technology, not just about technology in terms of information, in terms of specific cases, but how that data is all looked at together, how it aggregates together, and certainly how do we combine subject matter expertise and knowledge with that data to help our corporate customers make decisions for the future. So that's exciting elements of what's upcoming.
There's a lot going on out here. Speaking of corporate folks here, I want to ask us, Bobby, I'm going to bid you adieu.
All
I'm
right.
going to ask you to hand the mic over to Ritu Dubé over here from Henry Jackson Foundation. That's a hot mic, Ritu, okay? So just watch out. Come on over here. My fellow Cowboys fan behind enemy lines out here in D.C. You know, I gotta throw that out there to get the kind of chum the water out there, because I know that'll get Phil going and some of the other Eagles fans. How are you doing?
What about this comment you made earlier about Philadelphia?
I said the port of Baltimore must be bad if people are having to go to Philly. You know a problem's bad when Philly's your best option.
Hey,
no
you know what?
offense.
Nobody can beat a good cheesesteak other than Philly. So
Yeah, I mean, but the steak is great. The whiz is the problem. Whiz is nothing named whiz ever belonged on food. You know what I mean?
True.
That's just my take on it, though. What do I know? Ritu, this has been great. You were on a panel today.
Thank you.
You did us the pleasure of sitting on our panel and kind of talking from a corporate perspective about some of the challenges you're seeing out there and some of the things that you're navigating. What was one of the things that you took away today that we should be thinking about?
In general, I think there's a consensus about there being skills gap, especially for STEM talent in the United States. But one of the things was also about how geopolitical climates and elections affect immigration regulation and receptiveness to immigration. We have a very robust immigration program here at HJF, and our facility, which was
gorgeous
hosted
facility, by the way,
by USILAW, is meant to be an anchor to bring together industry experts and subject matter panelists and share ideas and knowledge. And it was very interesting to learn from tax folks and global mobility folks about shipping challenges, real estate challenges. We do have international operations. HJF MRI is one of our medical research international organizations. But yeah, mostly skills gap, technology, and how technology, I like what one of your colleagues said, is that technology used to be perceived as something to improve efficiency and productivity,
right?
But it's now being used to enhance the employee experience or the humane experience of it all.
Yeah.
Which I think is a very good way to look at it and to leverage it to our benefit, but not to dehumanize the process, but to make it better as an experience.
Yeah, to augment, not to replace. I mean that is the fear, right? Is the dehumanizing experience, and I think the pendulum is swinging back now. Now that we've experienced technology, we've worked with it, we've lived with it. I think we understand now when too much is too much, and now we have, I think, more of a nuanced, and I hope we have more of a nuanced understanding about how to apply it to the process. What are you seeing, or what would you love to see? Perfect world from an immigration standpoint. What type of a technological approach would you love to architect?
Wow, that's a loaded question. A little bit of a warehouse or a resource, a library to keep information in, but also a little bit of intuitive components. But immigration is, and I know Anandita said this before, but there is a human at the end of it. It is something that you're kind of looking at, like customizing the experience.
Yep.
So some sort of flexibility or ability for technology to be modified to customize the experience for the individual. Thinking customized tailored suit versus ordering it online.
I thought you'd never mention it.
I
to
know.
be honest with
I'm
you.
just saying. That looked like it came out of a haberdashery store.
This did not come off the rack, my friends. Okay. All right. This is not. I mean, I don't know if you've noticed, but this did not.
Ooh,
come off the rack.
And the
Yeah.
handkerchief.
Oh, the pocket square. Yeah. Mr. Vu does me right there. I think this is monogram somewhere. Anyway, sorry.
But we all crave that human touch, especially for something as daunting and stressful as immigration. It's someone's livelihood at the end of the day.
Yes, I think that's important to remember.
Right. And so I think a delicate balance between modernizing and leveraging technology to improve the process, maybe the speed, but still keep the human element to the experience.
Yeah.
That would be a good blend.
The other thing, I love that insight. The other thing that came up a couple of times in the symposium was the need for our corporate constituents to understand the cost of sending someone somewhere quickly, possibly before the assignment was even authorized, right? And understanding that a lot of times that costs money to come up with a cost. There's work to be done just preliminarily, but if there was some way to utilize technology to just kind of give us an idea so we can inform the business, is that something that resonated with you? Or
yeah, absolutely. Data is the new bacon. Somebody once said.
Data's the new bacon. Well, I like data all of a sudden. Okay, put data on everything.
But yeah, so that helps catalyze some of the decisions, and I think definitely there is value to a proactive approach in terms of planning ahead, being proactive, and looking at the past to basically predict the future, to say how, what we're going to need, whether it be immigration in terms of staffing immigration here in the US, whether it be sending people abroad based on active collaborations.
Yep.
So I do think that proactive, some sort of overarching organizational strategy to include manpower, resources, and yes, sometimes to yield great results, you have to spend the money. You just have to do it in a smart way.
Yeah, I love it. Do it in a smart way. Data's the new bacon. Make good decisions out there, not like bacon. Okay. No, this has been great. Libby, thank you. She says, Bennis, you are so. Did you know Libby is an extremely observant? Did you know that? A very astute woman, a professional. She says Ben is always the best dressed.
Ooh.
Yes, look at that.
Mr. Wu gets
mobility trends. Love it, Libby. Thank you so much for the compliment. We are going to keep the show moving. I think the bar just opened up, so we're going to try to bring some of the more serious folks in now that aren't attracted to that open bar. But I would love
a bad reputation.
I would love a cocktail. If anybody wants to get one, I think the bar is open. Get in the comments. Any cocktail suggestions you have are welcome. So throw them in the comments. I'd love to know, what should I be having? It's about 71, mostly sunny out. Spring is in the air. Something that pairs well with immigration. Throw it in the comments. Hit that like button.
Who am I passing the baton on to?
Ritu, why don't you pass it on to Chris Lagerman?
Okay. From
WHR Global. We're gonna bring Chris on. Get in the comments. Hit that like button. Oh wow! Look at this, Chris.
Hey, how's it going?
Chris is over here wearing the shades.
We're outside.
Future's so bright, you got to put shades on.
That's right.
Look at this guy, looking like $1 million here. I do like this jacket, by the way. This is very nice.
Yeah,
very nice.
Nordstrom, I think.
Yeah, it's nice.
It's not monogrammed or anything like yours,
it's got somebody's name in there.
Yeah,
it's just not yours. Anyway, let's get into how are you feeling today? By the way, how was this event? And first, before we go on, I want to give a shout out to WHR Global because they were a sponsor today, and we couldn't do events like this without their very generous sponsorship.
Thank you.
So thank you for forwarding.
It's our pleasure.
The conversation.
Yeah. No, this is my second symposium at USILAW. Really good information. I mean, they dive deep into the details, and I think that's critical for anybody that works in this industry, because we talked a lot about this today again, that all the pre-assessment planning that needs to go on to make sure things go smooth, that people are well communicated to. I mean, that and they really do dive into the details. So
yeah. I like that too, because it's a closed room, right? So you can really say, listen, this is happening with me. We have an employee that did this. What do you think about it?
Right.
What should my process look like today? It looks like this, and I don't love it. Can you give me some advice? I think that's where the rubber meets the road in these conversations.
Yeah, and I think bouncing things off other industry professionals that may not work in your exact area of the journey, so to speak, I think is really important. So hearing the update from Aversal and his team and really diving deep into the challenges that they're facing, I thought was, and again, I see this every day, and I still walk away learning quite a bit, and that's again what a symposium is supposed to do. So
yeah, I love
mission
it.
accomplished.
And the socializing and getting to actually meet folks and have these kind of ad hoc conversations. There's kind of an ad hoc conversation happening over here going on right now. So I think that's really valuable. Creating space for serendipitous moments.
Yes.
Speaking of serendipity, we have some people getting into the comments here. I'll tell you what, man, I'll make this mobility thing look all right.
You do.
Be honest with you.
You're clean.
I'll be honest with you.
Well,
we got people coming in the comments here with some suggestions on cocktails. No, I have not received a cocktail yet. There's a whole lot of people doing a whole lot of nothing right now over there. Anyway, but we got some ideas here. We got Moscow Mule from Libby. Oh, that's a good, that's a classic spring drink here.
Gotta have the copper cup, though.
You gotta have that copper Mule cup.
Right.
Monica says amaretto sour.
No way, Monica.
Very interesting. You know what, Monica?
Nope.
I'm gonna raise you a Godfather, which is amaretto and scotch, and you should try it.
Yeah, booze on top of booze. Why not?
Why not? Who needs sour?
A Negroni. That's my
Negroni's beautiful.
Yeah.
It is
go-to for.
It's a gin,
tonight.
Campari, and
A gin Campari
and vermouth, perhaps.
Vermouth.
I think it's just three things.
And
I think
a third. An orange needs to be
orange twist,
present.
a liberal twist, like it.
Or lemon. I don't know.
No, orange to go with it. It's Italian. They love they love the lemons there too.
Citrus.
Phil says a cherry margarita. I feel there's some shade in that comment. I'll be honest with you, Phil. Where are you going with that cherry margarita? Okay, sounds like a Seagram's beverage. Sounds like a ready to
golden
drink
wine coolers.
Yeah, no. These are that I would expect nothing less from an Eagles fan. No, Phil, I do. I love you. Did you know they're doing a mix and mingle? Phil Leonard invited me to a mix and mingle tomorrow night for the GWERC.
Yeah, we need to do that. The mix and mingle.
Yes.
The mingle after the event on Thursday.
There's a pre-mingle and a post-mingle.
Yeah, all those things.
It's a lot of mingling
for sure. By the way, go Bucks.
Go Bucks. Tell us about which Bucks are we talking about? Is it not open yet? Oh, you order it? Shout out to Lauren Turner from Turnkey, by the way. Making things happen over here. Hospitality on 10 right now.
Big time.
This is great. So your Milwaukee Bucks are in the playoffs. Congratulations.
Yeah. Your Dallas Mavericks are too.
Yes, we are. We're the 5th seed. What seed are you?
3, I believe.
3?
Yeah.
Dame Lillard. Yeah. Looking like
35 points in the first half.
Oh, Dame time.
Dame time.
Look at that.
Giannis being out.
Look at that. Look at that. Is Giannis coming back?
I think so. Yeah. He's always going to be back.
I love when you crowdsource ideas, you get a real variety of quality of ideas. Monica says, listen, we're doing straight vodka shots. I'm Polish. I got to represent. Interesting take. I love the global mobility aspect there. Libby is keeping it real. Coming for your title of best dressed, Ben. Okay. Hey, listen, we throw rocks at the throne. Best not miss, okay? All right. Just know that. Okay.
Throw rocks at the throne.
This is great.
Heavy is the head who wears the crown.
That's right. Or all this hair product. Question, Chris, what's one thing people need to be thinking about right now if they're not thinking about it?
Geez, one thing.
In the Relo world.
So I was listening to everybody else answer that question. I think housing supply is something that's always going to be on the mind.
Single family homes?
Whether it's single family homes, even temporary accommodations, rental. The prices of rent in the United States have never been higher.
Yeah. But the prices of rent are still lower than the price to purchase many homes. Like in Dallas, Texas right now, it's cheaper to rent than it is to buy.
Again, I think that's with interest rates.
It's
That's
like an
gonna
inverted
fluctuate.
yield curve of
Right.
property values right now.
Yeah, I think it's definitely something that is should be on the mind of anybody who's relocating.
It's on my mind. I'm looking to buy a house right now.
Right.
If I bought the house that I'm renting a house right now. Should I get into the details?
You can get in. Yeah.
I'm renting a house right now. I'm paying about $3,500 a month for this house. Okay.
Okay.
Some people might say it's a lot of money. I don't know. I think it's worth it. But if I bought that same house, today's property values, today's tax rates based on property values, and today's mortgage rates, depending on what the down payment is, I'm probably at about $5,000.
Yeah, I think you're
Right
getting
now?
a deal on your rent.
I am.
To be honest
I am.
with you.
I'm grandfathered in. They try to raise it. I'd be like, nah, son. And then I pay like a $1.50 increase annually.
Yeah, because I think a lot of people
But that
who
same
already
house-
are homeowners right now.
On my block right now, $4,500 is what they're
Right.
charging.
Exactly.
But
So
it's still,
I do
it's
think
still
you're getting
cheaper to rent it right now. Now you're not getting all the equity in it.
So here's where a lot of people that are current homeowners right now, and they're used to paying, let's say, a 30-year fixed on, 3.2% interest or something like that.
Mhm.
And they go to either purchase or rent. Let's say it's going to be a huge sticker shock, and
Yeah.
they might get into a bidding war. And
I think bidding wars are going to come back. I think there's
already
multiple
here
offers.
on real estate, and that's a supply issue. So it
Although-
goes market by market.
Although I think housing prices right now are somewhat lower than we're going to see when you get two interest rate decreases, like say maybe end of the year or whatever.
Right.
You're going to see housing prices shoot up. There's people sitting on the sidelines. They're just like, I'm not getting in at 7 and change or whatever. When they start to see those things creep down, you're going to see people getting in before houses come on the market, and you're going to see prices go up, in my opinion, 10%.
Well,
in the next,
what
in
could
the next
counteract
6 to 12.
that are people then are going to take advantage of a good opportunity, and they're going to list their home. So there could be what's called shadow inventory that's out there still. People that have been waiting on the sidelines, not listing.
There's going to be, so
the
you say
perfect
shadow
event.
inventory. So I think there's more pent up demand than shadow inventory.
You're probably
because
right.
I think there's boomers that are holding on to their home, that aren't downsizing, that are looking at that home as a store of value.
That's shadow inventory.
Yeah,
Yes,
but it's not inventory that's going to come onto the market,
when they need to.
The hospitality is questionable here.
When
But thank you very much. This one's mine. No, this one's mine. What is this right here? Because we have a running
It's like
guess
a
here.
margarita.
Is this a margarita?
You're the best.
A buzzing tower.
Hey,
Buzz
cheers.
the tower. Cheers.
Buzz the tower.
Salute. Happy HCAP season.
All right, it'll play.
It'll play. Thank you very much. Those drinks are sponsored by Aversal and Turnkey. Appreciate you very much. Charles Beatty checking in. What's up, guys? What's up with you?
Charles.
Jillian says, Chris, love the shades.
Yeah, we're outside.
Dude, I feel like honestly, I'm starting to get a complex. I feel like Jill has all these nice things to say about all the guests. I wear sunglasses sometimes.
She sees you all the time.
I guess. Charles saying for sure I'm in that boat at 2.75%. Tough to justify a move.
Yep.
You're never moving. Charles, you're gonna buy a second home before you sell that home. That's a bold prediction. Janet Turner, salute. Hey, look at Janet. Cheers to you, Janet.
Yeah,
this is great.
For another sip,
This
maybe.
is great. Yeah, take a little beverage break. We're trying to, let's see. We got another one here. Here's another topic. Phil Leonard says inventory, cost containment, NAR lawsuit, AI, pick one.
Pick one, exactly.
I'm going to pick one NAR lawsuit.
Yeah. And all the copycat lawsuits that are happening right now. I mean, I think, there's the mobility aspect of things, and then there's just the consumer aspect of things. Bottom line.
Feels like Weekend at Bernie's. I just got you like over here.
Yeah, I'm just going to start going limp.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, but I do think it's going to be a major shift in how things are done in mobility, the cost impact on our corporate friends who are moving their employees, right? Because when now their transferees are coming back to them saying, hey, I may have to pay my selling agent or
Mhm.
my buying agent.
Is that buyer's commission going to be put into policies now?
It's going to, yes,
It's going to have to be.
absolutely,
Yeah.
without a doubt. And then are you going to gross it up?
Is it taxable?
Well, anything is taxable at this
Everything
stage.
is taxable.
Everything is taxable, with the exception now of a guaranteed buyout. Basically, everything in mobility is taxable to the employee.
Interesting. Now, what are you guys forecasting anything to happen or change with the sunsetting of Tax Cuts and Jobs Act? Is the moving expense deduction going to come back, in your opinion?
In my opinion, well, it depends on who's
the president,
who has the majority. Let's say not necessarily the president, but who has the majority. Because I do think there are cases to be made on both ends. Of course, we want to see, and we're going to lobby really hard for that to sunset. However, there's going to be a lot of opinions that are saying, hey, why are we giving corporations another tax break? So, yeah, I don't know if I can give a prediction.
You know, I don't think it's coming back. I'll be honest with you. I think no matter who's president, Trump was the one that did the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act in favor of lowering the corporate tax from 35% to 25% and basically screwing over individuals on tax breaks. Okay, yeah, I said it. And so he's not going to go back on that. I mean, and the second thing is in Biden, they're not going to give more tax breaks, because tax breaks are seen as helping wealthier people, right? And we have a crazy deficit right now that we've got to fund with revenue for someplace. So I feel like it's going to be very hard to pass a tax cut.
Anytime,
but I don't know nothing.
Anytime something has already gone into effect and people are used to it, it's hard to back that off, especially when you have to make the case that it is hurting individuals and families.
Phil's got a point here, and we're going to pivot back to the NAR thing. He says you'll see an increase in dual agency and buyer agreements.
Yeah, he's right. And
what's that about? What does that even mean?
So that's buyer agency agreements are when you're basically signing off to that buying broker that they are in fact representing you in your journey to buy the house, and they essentially have you sign to an agreement that says, if you buy anytime within this year, you owe this broker a commission. And I think but we represent you as part of that.
Yeah.
Sure. And so
but
I think is
dual agency. So that means they represent the buyer and the seller.
Dual agency is when one broker represents the buyer.
Ooh, that's that double dipping.
Seller. Yeah.
I like it. That's what I would do.
Yes, sir.
I'd be like the dual agent. I mean, listen, I'm an arbiter. I'm like, listen, I'm gonna take care of both of y'all.
I think
is that even possible in a real estate transaction?
It's really not. No. No.
Does somebody always win and somebody always lose? Or can't we all just get along?
Well, as a broker, and I am a licensed broker, by the way.
Oh, I didn't realize I was speaking to an expert.
Yes, sir. Managing broker since 2007. No, I am, but
I
am.
Not kidding.
Okay. What were we talking about?
We're talking about can dual agency really truly be an effective strategy? Does one person always win, one person always lose?
We always talk our transferees out of dual agency from the standpoint that it's very hard to be represented in that type of an environment. Basically, what you're signing off on is that your broker is going to represent you, but they're basically doing paperwork. So
I feel like RMCs would actually be really well positioned to be dual brokers, because you might have enough volume, critical mass of volume going into certain areas.
Now we get into who we are actually representing, and that's kind of tricky because we're not necessarily acting as an agent in that transaction, and I think most RMCs would prefer not to.
Gotcha. Yeah. Hey, I know it's always getting good when it gets sticky. Okay. So we try to get to the nuanced stuff. Hit that like button, get in the comments. Shout out to Phil, Janet, Jill, Charles. I mean, I love the comments here. Libby, thank you so much. Hit that like button one more time here. We're gonna keep it moving.
Yeah,
here.
Keep it moving.
We're gonna get rid of Chris. As much as we love Chris, we're gonna get rid of him. People are starting to gather kind of behind us. I don't know if you can see all these people. They're starting to gather over here. I'm gonna invite somebody else. We're gonna go off script here. Omaha, Omaha. We're gonna go off
Omaha.
script here. We're gonna get Lauren.
Yes.
Lauren over here. Lauren,
Come on
Turner
through.
over here. Give her the mic.
Here you go.
Oh, I
Lauren.
haven't used one of these.
Yeah,
little
right.
guys.
You just
Oh, yeah.
just
Hey,
hold
no
on to it. Come on
problem. I
over.
got you.
Come on
Hi.
in. How are you
Hi.
doing, Lauren?
Hi, I'm great. How are you?
Lauren Turner here from Turnkey
Hey,
Housing. How are you
buddy.
doing?
I'm doing lovely. How are you?
I'm well. I'm well. Welcome to
Good.
the Immigration and Global Mobility Symposium. How are
Thank
you
you,
finding it?
I found it fascinating.
Yeah.
I feel like it's not every day that at these conferences that is the main focal point, and I find it so interesting.
Yeah. Well, we tried to go kind of immigration and global mobility, but actually the audience at one point turned it back to temp housing.
No, I
And we're
really
like,
put
I
on the
think we
spot
need to be
here.
talking about
Yes.
temp housing. What's going on in temp housing that people need to be thinking about?
I mean, overall, I feel like we've seen a good uptick in the start of the year, which seems to be the trend, I think, in general with the mobility side, which is great. But obviously, there's a lot of unknowns, I think, with it being an election year. So I think we're kind of waiting to see what will happen with that. But overall, we're doing well.
Yeah.
It's good. It's a good year.
I feel like temp housing companies have had to kind of pivot a little bit, maybe from focusing kind of solely on the corporate relocation space to looking at other verticals and areas for business. Have you seen that, or has DC been so robust that you've been able to kind of really stay in that niche, or do you need to diversify, you think?
So in general, for us, because we are here in the DC market, we've always diversified a lot. So we have clients through the embassies, obviously government business, and we work with a lot of intern groups, the satellite universities here. So for us, that's always been very important. I think that we are seeing a lot of our partners and other corporate housing companies trying to do the same thing, just because relocation, obviously in 2023 was down a bit. So I think everyone's trying to diversify a little bit just to make sure that their portfolio is a little bit more balanced.
Yeah, love it. Let's see here. We got some comments coming in here. Janet saying bye, Chris, but she's saying, hey, Lauren,
Hi.
always love your last name.
Oh yeah, Janet, Sam.
Same. Any relation there with you and Janet Turner?
Maybe that we don't know about.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Gonna have to get on that.
Although it is
23andMe and
it's a I was married into the.
you married
Turner,
into
so.
it. Wah wah.
Yeah, wah wah.
No fun.
Not
Anyway,
that exciting.
what's one thing that people need to be thinking about this year as they look at temp housing and planning maybe their usage of it or just planning? I mean, what do people need to be thinking about?
Oh, so we just had our corporate housing industry conference in February, and I think one of the big takeaways for me, at least, CHPA. You've been there, seen you there from time to time.
Tempe, where was it?
We were in Tucson, Arizona. Yes, Tempe, close, very close.
Trying to get
you got the T
cute,
right. But I think that instead of I think overall, my outlook on the rest of the year is really, instead of trying to compete, really just work on our partnerships. So we've been working now. We just we've now expanded nationally. We have some clients that we're working with globally, and just utilizing partnerships, I think, is really going to be the key to staying successful and true to your clients. And then that way they also have that kind of single point of contact for the company, which I think is really important. I think that a lot of the technology that we have in corporate housing right now is very, very valuable from a database standpoint. But I think always having that point of contact for your client will be really important. And that's what kind of makes us unique in comparison to even hotels. We're not just a booking platform. We have the product, but we also have the service side. So I think that will be a big factor in 2024. I know it is for us. So really utilizing those partnerships.
Awesome. And we got Phil Leonard saying, hi, Lauren here.
Hi, Phil.
And Libby's asking, Ben, is that Mel Smith behind your shoulder? Yeah, it is Mel Smith over there.
It is.
We got a Mel sighting. Mel, come wave over here. Mel, the people are just asking you to say hi. Just say hi, Mel.
People want to see you.
Hello. Libby's asking.
Hi, Libby. Hey, Libby.
Yeah, there you go. See,
Great
that's
to see you.
I didn't mean to interrupt you, Mel.
Thanks.
It's looking amazing.
Thank
All right, now get out of here. You're making me look bad, Mel. All right. No, always a pleasure to have Mel here. This is great. Thanks for stopping by. We got a couple more people we want to see here. Get in the comments. I want to hear from you. Let me know who you are, where you are. Check in with us. Hit that like button if you've got questions. I want to hear about them. Lauren Turner. Now, is it TK Housing? Or is that what we're going with? Or Turnkey?
I think it's got abbreviated just
It's
for
got abbreviated?
I don't know why, but
just let me know. Just keep me honest
say TK.
here, okay?
We say internally we say TK, but it's Turnkey.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But
let me know.
I mean, you know us well enough to say TK.
I can. Okay,
Yeah, you
cool.
can say TK.
All right, cool. Well, we got LT from TK here. It's good to see you. Thanks for stopping by, Lauren. Let's pass that over. We got Dario over here. Dario Collado, come here, over here. Thanks so much. Thanks, Lauren. Appreciate it. Come on over here.
Pleasure.
Dario.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks for being here. So Dario, tell people what who you're with and tell people about yourself.
So my name is Dario Collado. I am Vice President of Strategic Development for the Hispanic Heritage Foundation here in Washington, D.C., a national nonprofit. We do computer coding with Google across the country, high school, and also elementary schools, elementary students. We do the Hispanic Heritage Awards at the Kennedy Center every year, which are the most prestigious awards by Latinos for Latinos across the country. We also do work in the entertainment space. We work with TikTok, and we have a podcast series with TikTok. But we also work, 170 million TikTok users, over 7 million small businesses. So we also give money out through TikTok for small businesses, and not only in cash, but also in grants, so that small businesses can utilize the platform in order to grow, 6, 7, 10x their products and their business.
Wow, that's really cool. I know social media is not for my business, and I'm not even on TikTok yet like that. So,
Nice.
No, that's powerful. So, what was your interest in coming to the Immigration and Global Mobility Symposium today?
Just meeting new contacts. I think these conversations are extremely important. I think after COVID, these events are important because it's good to have face-to-face interactions with folks. And I think individuals, especially at this symposium, are looking at not only expanding their outreach and their impact, but also the work that they do.
Yeah. Well, it's really cool that you're here. Appreciate the work that you do at the Hispanic Heritage Foundation. Got Nan over here checking in. I wanted to say hi to Erica as well. Oh man, that looks good. Nan, you ready to come step in over here? Say a couple words real quick.
Thank you.
Dario, it's real pleasure.
Yeah,
thanks
pleasure.
for stopping over here.
Absolutely.
All right, we've got Nan Park here checking in.
Hello.
What's going on? How you doing, man?
Good. It's such a great day to have an event indoor and
Beautiful.
outdoor, nice and
Gorgeous.
warm.
It's a perfect DC spring day. I told somebody, I said, I'm coming. I was actually texting with Kerwin Guillermo. And I said, Kerwin, I'm going to DC because he was flying into Dallas, ironically. And I said, well, I'm going to DC. He's like, oh, DC in springtime. He's like, you're lucky. Enjoy it. And it has not disappointed whatsoever here.
This is as good as it gets.
Yeah, it sure is. Tell me, speaking of as good as it gets, tell me what your thoughts were and reactions from the Immigration and Global Mobility Symposium today. What's maybe something that stood out to you?
I mean, I think it's the energy that we hear, negative press cycle about different things, and of course we had passionate discussion about how the world events impacting logistics, impact the real companies, impact policy impacts on the real estate market, and eventually translate into additional costs, and of course tied right into the trends in mobility movement. But overall, we all have this passion continue to move the progress forward, and it's the dedication that every single person attended today either is RMC, either is service provider, either is corporate buyers, and including Michael. I don't know if Michael has dropped by yet.
No, I haven't seen Michael.
We're gonna grab Michael really quick.
Yeah, we're almost running out of time.
WRC and provide us the policy update and the excitement. And one of the highlight was one of the bill that was passed that took 10 years to finally get passed today or this year or recently. And that's the level of energy and dedication, commitment, and every single person attending the event today was able to express and illustrate. And that's extremely exciting and also emotional to be able to say, we got so much noise and disruptive movements going on around the world, then here's a group of people come together and trying to come to the greater good to be able to continue to add value to people that moving around the world and to improve that experience. And we talk about connected experience, and how we transition from first in productivity, cost saving into more experience driven. That's definitely something that very new, and this is the first event I heard about it. So very excited. But let me grab Michael before we go.
Let's grab Michael Jackson over here at WERC. Thanks everybody for getting in the comments. We got one more guest here. It looks like with us. Get in the comments. I want to know if you have any questions for Michael Jackson, who runs the government relations, government affairs for World at ERC. Jillian, yet again, recognizing the guests and how nice it is to see them. Appreciate you, Jillian. Hey, come on over here. Here, Michael.
Hello.
Look at this. We got Michael Jackson here from WERC.
Hello.
How are you doing?
Good.
It's good to see you.
Good to see you. Hello, everyone.
Yeah. So tell us, I'm setting up here for the show, but tell me what I missed as far as maybe some of the highlights from the government affairs update.
So, in terms of the government affairs update, we were talking about a number of the legislative initiatives that are impacting mobility. And
what's one of the bigger ones, maybe?
And so one of the one thing I'll point out, and this was a major win for our industry, was in February, President Biden signed into law the Moving Americans Privacy Protection Act, which has been a 10-year effort by WRC and industry associations across the industry, including the International Association of Movers and ATA and others, but then also players from across the industry to address a loophole in the U.S. law that impacted the security of transferee data traveling through ports of security. And so this is something that has ended up passing with unanimous support in both the House and Senate, but took nearly 10 years to get over the line.
10 years.
Yes.
Crazy amount of time these things take. Is that typical that it takes so long to get legislation passed, or is it just certain types of legislation?
It depends on the circumstances, but things don't move very quickly in Congress, particularly in the current climate, because you've got a narrowly divided Congress and a whole host of issues that take longer. And so, with MAPO, it ended up passing each chamber 3 times, but then ended up, for various reasons, getting ensnared and not being able to move forward in another chamber. And so, really over the years, been continuing to educate, build champions on the Hill, educate on why this is important for mobility and for protecting our transferees. And so really moving the needle and being able to bring the industry together. And this is really a great example of the industry coming together to advance critical issues for the industry, and shows the power of our industry.
Yeah, and speaking of critical issues for the industry, and hit that like button if you got any questions, put them in there. We don't have Michael for very long, but I gotta ask, because to me it's the most critical issue. The moving expense deduction, right? Tax Cuts and Jobs Act 2017, I believe, supposed to sunset in 2025. But does that mean we're going to get the deduction back? What are your thoughts?
So this is going to be a major effort and initiative for WRC and the industry over the next 2 years, because under the 2017 provision, the moratorium on it set to expire at the end of 2025. That said, there are hundreds of provisions that are either have moratoriums that expire at the end of 25, or that were part of the tax bill in 2017 that are up for consideration. And so this is going to be a critical effort over the next 2 years to be able to educate on the Hill the importance of the moving tax expense deduction. But this is another case of the industry coming together to support, and really advocate for something that's critical for the industry. And so over the next 2 years, and this is something that WRC, along with American Trucking Association, IEM, and others, are already starting to engage in our coalition to be able to build a framework and to start building and leveraging champions on Capitol Hill. Yeah. But over the next 2 years, it's going to be important for the entire industry and all of you to be able to tell why this is important for you, and to be able to engage with your members of Congress and others to be able to support us and to being able to champion the reinstatement of the moving tax expense deduction.
I've been thinking about this a lot for years now, and I always thought if we had the opportunity to really do this over again, which we're getting, it sounds like. I look at what's happened with the Global Household Goods contract with the GHC, right? Where they basically moved all the military moving to one contractor. And it all started because military spouses started a change.org petition. And we always talk about how we're an industry full of small businesses, right? So we're not, you know, IBM or Amazon where we can just kind of swing our heft around on the hill, right? But there are a lot of us in this business that, I mean, it touches movers on the curb, it touches DSPs, you know, doing area tours, it touches, you know, lawyers and immigrants and people, like just individuals, a lot of individuals. And I'm wondering if we couldn't do more of a grassroots effort along the lines of a change.org petition where the CEOs of every company that's in Worldwide ERC and other associations, like-minded associations, could ask all the people that work for their company to sign this petition, and maybe ask their family members who are also impacted, like, let's be honest, right, by our livelihoods, to all kind of come under this thing and really see. I don't know. I could see us getting 100,000 signatures or something like that.
And you bring up a great point, and it's really going to be harnessing the impacts of this. And there are broad impacts, the transferees that are impacted, the small and medium-sized enterprises. You know, this is something that impacts across the country, and you have transferees, you know, in all corners of the country that this could impact. And so this impacts, you know, urban, rural, everything in between. And this is something that, you know, that has a significant ramification for, you know, for U.S. employers and for the U.S. economy. And so being able to harness those stories, to be able to have the industry come together and say, this is important for us, you know, being able to harness that power and opportunity is going to be absolutely critical. And so you bring up a great point that, you know, over the next 2 years, being able to have folks from across the industry come together to say, this is why this is important. This is why we need, this deduction reinstated, is going to be vital for getting it reinstated.
Yeah, I look forward to the creative ideas the WERC and the other associations come together with, but we got to start acting now, because it's going to take a while, right, as these things always do. And if we want to kind of strike while the iron's hot, you know, it seems like a timely matter. So I want everybody to be thinking about the moving expense deduction. The time is now, I think, to start putting focus on this. And I look forward to all of you supporting that. And Mike, I look forward to seeing what you come up with the association.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And in the coming months, stay tuned for additional information for how you can get engaged and how you can lend your voice to share your story, your company's story and experience, because it's all going to be coming together. And really, Ben, appreciate all that you do for the industry and really being able to, help the industry come together to navigate the range of issues and opportunities that we're working through as an industry. And the industry is best when we come together, and really seeing the power of the industry and all of you is absolutely critical.
Yeah, this is great. Now, I think the party started, so I'm going to go get some refreshments here. And thank you so much for stopping by, Michael.
Absolutely. Thank you. And thanks to all of you.
Fantastic. Thanks so much.
Yep.
Appreciate you.
Absolutely.
Take care, everybody. Hey, thanks for joining today, everybody. Hit that like button, get in the comments. Appreciate y'all being here today with us. It's a gorgeous day here in Bethesda, 70 degrees. Just couldn't ask for a better day. I'm super blessed to be here with all of our friends here in Global Mobility. I'll give you a quick little scan of what's going on out here. We got people over here chatting. Got kind of beautiful. Look at this gorgeous veranda situation out here. Everybody just having nice little refreshments. It's just really beautiful out here. So I'm going to go kind of hang out with everybody, and I will see y'all later.